Welcome to another exciting episode of Two Bar Connection. Of your host Jesse and
James. What's going on, everybody?
What is going on, indeed? So for today's episode, we have a lot of news with Sony and Bungie, friends of the podcast here, as we have some PSN price hikes, not one but two PSN price hikes hitting back to back. We also have a lawsuit with PlayStation being sued, as well as PlayStation exclusives, at least for the narrative side of things, officially not coming to PC anymore. But we also have Bungie is once again in the news for not doing too hot, as they have officially announced they're ending support for Destiny 2 so that they can focus on making other games as well as support Marathon. And of course, the entire Destiny community is pissed. We also have another roundup of games as a service dying, as we have Sega's Super game being canceled, as well as Quantum Dreams MOBA being canceled, and Amazon's Lord of the Rings MMO being canceled. But we do have some good news, because we do have a Lord of the Rings open world RPG by Warhorse Studios, the developers of Deliverance or Kingdom Come Deliverance, as well as the Protect Our Games bill over in California passing through committee so that it can be voted for in on the floor. But before we get into all that, how have you been?
I've been pretty good, man. Still doing my day shift training, and as far as games, I've really only been playing one, which you know what game we've been playing. Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is finally out in early access, and we finally got our Rock and Stone on after much time, because it's been a long time since I've played those since I played Deep Rock, and I like it. It's not bad. It does have some issues, which we can get into if you'd like, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an early access game. They got a lot of stuff to iron out. Some early access games come out, a bit more polished than others, and some need less work than others. But I think for Rogue Core, they're gonna have their work cut out for them, especially since it's such a it seems like it would be similar to Deep Rock Galactic, but because it's a roguelike, like that dictates a lot more different design directions that they have to go in. So that may rub a lot of people the wrong way, because a lot of people come in expecting, this wholesome co-op game, and then you have this roguelike game that's like sweaty as fuck, and you can like potentially grief each other unintentionally. Luckily, the Deep Rock community is very wholesome overall. So at least so far, we haven't had any problems with people. Even though we haven't played much. I don't know. I haven't played much beyond the 2 or 3 games that we have played.
So at least for me, we played 2 or 3 runs, and I played a couple of other runs with my friend Aislene. I think 3, we only finished one of them. The other 2, we died. So we lost those runs. And I think it's still too early to say, because we're still learning the game. I don't even know. I'd never really played much roguelikes to begin with. So I'm still learning the genre as a whole, and now I'm learning it through Deep Rock's interpretation of it. So we'll just see. But it's still fun. It has a lot of Deep Rock charm to it, but you're right. The roguelike direction that they went with, they had to take some stuff out from what we know and love. Like there's no extraction at the end of the round. You just the level just ends. And there's
we were talking about that. We're like, man, I kind of miss the extraction aspect of Deep Rock.
Yeah, I do miss the extraction aspect of it. Like that's like it's the best part ever. I mean, and I get it, because with the roguelike, and honestly, it gets hard. Like it's really, really hard. Like it lulled me into a false sense of security, because I was used to playing the game and I knew what to expect. But no, bro, this game's hard as balls. Especially this game is so hard, and it's got these moments. It's got a timer also, that if you don't reach the the end of the room, it'll just spawn super hard enemies. Thankfully, though, we haven't gotten to that point yet, so we actually don't know what it's like when we get that max difficulty. And actually, a lot of people have been complaining about the timer, saying that it detracts from the fun, because they can't explore and stuff, which fair to them, because in Deep Rock you explore caves and you find minerals and you find treasure to boost your haul, but here it's very, very focused on just kind of speed running through the round.
Yeah, I mean That's kind of where the more narrow aspects of the game kind of come in, because it's like, well, it's not supposed to be a more like chill, because Deep Rock, like, if you're not playing like in Hazard like 4 or 5, especially 5, like it's mostly a pretty chill experience. Like, you kind of just walking around with your friends, you're like, oh hey, I found some minerals here, I found uh some nanites or whatever, and yeah, okay, I got some here, okay, I'm gonna call the bot and stuff. Oh look, there's some I mean, I forgot what all the minerals were now called up, but like, there's that one that's like green and purple and shit. Like, oh, I found that.
There's
And I'll mine that up, and oh, I found
Chroma.
the crystal that we need to harvest, and then eventually like they'll hit you with a wave, and that's what's like, oh shit, okay, now we gotta take things seriously. But like, in between that, there's a lot of, lulls. Whereas with this game, it's supposed to be more of like just a straight up action game, and they want you to like, be moving like quickly and as efficiently as possible, and they want you to make decisions, because like you go into a room, and there's all sorts of these like side objectives that you can do, and those side objectives can get you like extra XP points so that you can get additional upgrades. But the timer kind of puts a pressure on you to like prioritize what you can and cannot do, and sometimes you can't do everything. Like there was, I think, like a run where like we had to like skip something, so like we don't have time because we don't want to deal with like a super wave or whatever it is that happens when the timer runs out.
And actually, what ended up happening was there was one time where we decided, no, we're gonna do it, and we ended up triggering an event for extra XP night, which is the ore that's used for upgrades. We activated the event, which brought a horde, but then the timer got to the point where it triggered like the wave, so we got like double hit.
You got double dipped.
We got double dipped with the wave, and we're like, whoa, crap!
Shit.
Like we got mollywopped really, really hard. We didn't die, but we came very, very close. So yeah, and it sucks because playing Deep Rock, you, me, and Isleen, we want to do everything. I think we've not done the side objective once, like the what's it called? The secondary objective. Like we always did the secondary objective, but in this one, it's hard to do that, and we want to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you want to do everything that there is to do, but this game, like, they want you to prioritize. That was kind of the thing that they want you to do. It also helps that like the rooms are a lot more linear, and that is on purpose. Like the Deep Rock Galactic is more like about traversing complex cave systems. This game's more like go go go.
Yep.
And that's also reflected in the classes too, because it's all new classes as well. I thought they were going to bring the old classes back and like maybe add like some new ones or whatever, but no, it's actually I was really surprised when I saw it. Oh shit, like it's all new classes.
Yeah, it's new classes and with their own abilities. However, what they did was they brought the tools back as part of the what they call the negotiations. So you guys, in a roguelike, you get to pick upgrades and stuff. Well, here's the same thing, but they give you weapons and you pick it as a group. So you're talking about like potential griefing with the game. Well, they give you a set of weapons, a bunch of grays and then one green. And it's old weapons from the original Deep Rock plus some new ones like the charge pistol.
Yeah, which is really cool. I liked it. I like the charge pistol.
Yeah. No, it's super cool, especially when, like I told you last night, when you pair with the spotter, which has a crit dart, and you hit a weak point, it like it deletes health. But you have people, you have the chance for griefing, like you said, because you could pick weapons, and people are kind of stuck with like the piece of crap, which was what happened to me at one point. Same thing with the grenades, and also with the traversal tools. So you actually pick from a pool of like the drills, the zip line, the platform gun. There's another one. I forget which one it is.
There's and the flare gun, the flare gun, and the anti-gravity.
And the anti-gravity, which, by the way, anti-gravity is actually pretty dope. I like that very, very much. But so there is no classes. It's just it's just people with certain abilities.
Well, I mean, there are classes, but like your gear isn't tied to the class. It's just your abilities.
Yeah. The gear isn't tied to the class. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, and I knew that. I knew that they were gonna make all new classes for it because they had been talking about it. And actually, I think right before their first, right before they delayed it, they added a 5th class, which I believe was the Falconeer, but I can't say for certain. But it's pretty cool. I've only played one though. I've played the Spotter. I was gonna play some other ones later, but if time serves us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll if you're down, we can probably play some more after we're done recording this. But yeah,
Absolutely.
like you said, there's there's 5 classes now. So there's the Falconer,
Yes.
which shoots out like a little drone that like follows you around and shoots people and stuff. There's the Slicer, which is what I'm playing. It has a cool energy sword that you can just slice stuff with. You also summon like a barrier that stops all range attacks. And then you also have like a dash as well. There's the Guardian, which kind of the tank of the game, where you can put like a field that like boosts everyone's armor and like shoots out shockwaves that can like knock enemies back and stuff. The Spotter, which is you mentioned, that's the one you're playing right now.
Yeah, more support oriented. They perform recon. They can send out like a little pulse to actually show enemies on the map. They themselves have a radar to look at enemies and players alike. They can also drop an ammo pack as resource, and they also have like the main thing is the crit dart. So the crit dart, you can hit a singular enemy and it increases the crit chance on that target, but you could also shoot it into the ground and it creates like a little area of effect, and any monsters in that area of effect gain the increased crit damage effect, and you can see it because they light up. So it's pretty cool.
And then what's the 5th one? It was Spotter, Falconer, Slicer, Guardian, and then I can't remember what the last one is.
Fuck. What is what is the 5th one? Hang on.
I don't know.
Well, it'll come to us later.
Yeah, it'll come to us later. But yeah, there has been like immediate feedback already. Like it's I think sitting at like a 70%. Yeah, so 70% on Steam right now. So,
which is an improvement because it was mixed when I bought it like on the day of release.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna rip a lot of people the wrong way if they come in with certain expectations coming from Deep Rock.
Yeah. Yes.
It's very much like a different game. It still has, Deep Rock, the Deep Rock world and stuff. It has a lot of Deep Rock weapons, but this is a much different interpretation of the Deep Rock formula.
Yes.
And then, so like they were talking about, like difficulty. So like we mentioned the timer, right? So people having difficulty with the timer, people having frustrations with the shared upgrade negotiations. Also, like the ammo economy was another thing as well. And that was something I flagged down like at my first session. Like, yeah, ammo seems kind of tight.
Yes.
I think it got a little better in later sessions, like when I realized, like every room has like crate boxes in it. You just have to look for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it didn't feel as bad then, but like I still think I preferred the flexibility in Deep Rock Galactic, where I can just call down a ammo dispenser wherever I want. I don't have to go look for some crate somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like the big thing for me. It's like, okay, the ammo economy does seem like a little bit tight. Like I'm a little afraid to use my weapon sometimes because like I don't know like if there's gonna be like a crate nearby. So like you really gotta map out the room before you do the objective so you can know where everything is and plan like where to pick things up and when, which I think is the goal of what they want you to do. It's just it can be a little bit of an adjustment.
Yes, I agree, and especially after you finish after you complete your first run, if you actually complete it and not die, they grant you an extra security clearance that allows you to access these little terminals that if you activate them, it shows everything that there is for that room. Everything. Ammo crate locations, armor locations, because there's armor in the game now. There's no shield. And nothing, and you don't regenerate the armor either. Like you have to pick up armor pickups. Treasures, Expionite events for extra Expionite, and also boosters, which give you like little mini power-ups. But it's pretty simple stuff now, like run faster, jump higher, increase crit chance, increase crit damage, and also cosmetic things. Oh, and artifacts, which are like the regular upgrades, but legendary. I think we got one last night. Mine was a regenerate 1 health every second.
Ooh, that's a good
one. I was like, I was like, oh, thank God. It's like, thank God, because like, dude, health can get very tight very quick.
And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the armor. Like, it's interesting they changed from shields to armor. It's like, I don't really see what the point is of the armor is versus the shield, because it's like, well, it's just a second health bar. Like it feels kind of redundant at that point. I'm not really sure what the point of the armor is.
I think it's to make it harder since shields technically, like I guess lore wise, shields can regenerate, armor doesn't. So it's supposed to make the job of the reclaimer harder,
I
which
know,
adds
but
to
like, what's the function of it though? Like, because like in most games, if you have armor, but what the armor does is it takes a percentage of the damage that your health would normally take, and it goes to the armor instead. But in this game, like it functions more like a second health bar, where it's like most of the damage goes, if not all the damage, goes to the armor, and then it goes to the health. So it's like, why not just increase the health then at that point?
well, yeah. Well, I think armor reduces the amount of health, like you said, reduces the amount of health damage you take. Because I've gotten hit, and it does take like first it takes a lot of your armor and then a little bit of health depending on what the attack was. But I'm not too.
I wasn't
But
really
you're
feeling
right.
it.
I'm not. I did. I've noticed it. I got hit with the base enemy, which I think is the creeper. Creeper. I can't remember, but the creeper crawler, whatever. And it did like armor took a hit, and a little bit of the health bar also took a hit as well. So I think it's meant to not only. I think it's meant to negate damage instead of just acting as a second health bar.
Okay. Maybe I just didn't notice enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Well, I mean, you're looking at there's a lot going on because this is a brand new game. We're taking a lot of it in, so you and me are noticing different things. And I noticed too because oh god, dude, when I got flinged and I thought it was a bug, my health got deleted, but my armor stayed fine. Like my armor stayed full.
Okay,
So
I guess some things ignore armor then.
yeah, some things ignore armor, and yeah, so fall damage, for example. Excuse me, I have the coffees today.
Uh-huh.
What?
No, you were continuing, or you're just coughing?
Oh no, that's it. Like yeah, some things ignore armor and just affect health like full damage. That's it.
Okay. And then like
That's all I had to say.
on top of that, I mean, I'd say like my additional feedback would be like with the upgrades, they seem a little generic, because like you have all these different
Yes.
classes, but like um it there's like there are upgrades that like are class specific, but they're relegated to just the workbench, which is weird. I think that's also why like people kind of have a problem with the shared upgrade system, is because the upgrades are shared, you kind of have to make them kind of generic so that they fit with any class if you pick them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they were individualized, you can tailor them to each individual class. Like it would be kind of cool if like I can modify my, because I'm playing the slicer, right? It would be cool if I could modify like my slicing ability to like, you know, set enemies on fire or something, or like make them explode, or make it so that like if I slash them, like I just like dash through them or whatever, and like it leaves like a damage field behind or something like that. Something to make it kind of crazy. That's kind of the appeal of roguelikes, is that eventually like you get like these abilities that stack on top of each other and like change the way your abilities function.
Yeah, I agree. And on that topic of generic upgrades, what I've noticed too is a lot of the upgrades, like no one can really use them. Like there's a lot of upgrades that say, oh, cause like whatever 10% more damage to frozen enemies, and it's like, well, I don't have anything that causes enemies to be frozen. Like I don't have like the crowd grenade, for example. And in some cases, like yeah, there's one guy that picks the crowd grenade because at the beginning of the round or at the beginning of the run, you can get a crowd grenade, you know, along other ones. But then if no one picks the crowd grenade, how am I supposed to do damage to a frozen enemy if I don't have anything in my arsenal that could freeze them? Or anybody else for that matter? And the same thing with fire damage or what is it, or like electricity damage. Oh yeah, cause 10% more damage to enemies that are like electrocuted. Okay, who can do the electric damage? If you have a falconer, yeah, sure, but sometimes it gives you upgrades in the pool that will not do anything for you. So it's like a waste. It's like a waste of an upgrade. So that's something else too that I think they should do, is give upgrades that actually are useful, generic or not, like have them actually be useful.
I mean, yeah, it's I mean, like in cases like that, like there's a bit of RNG to roguelike games where it's like you'll just get an upgrade that's just useless, and then you just have to move on to something else at that point. That's why they have like rerolls, which I think is going to be adding. They said that in their roadmap that they will be adding rerolls. It, which is a good idea. Like it's like, okay, I got these crap upgrades. Okay, let me re-roll it. personally, I hope like they kind of implement it to where like if you re-roll it, it only applies to yourself. So like you can re-roll one, and then like that one that you re-roll only applies to you, while everyone else still has like the base pool ones.
Yeah.
So then that way like you can sort of like tailor your upgrades a little bit more instead of being like at the mercy of whatever your team picks or whatever the upgrade pool is at that time. So who knows how they'll implement that. Another thing that's kind of interesting is that like they have so most of the time like in roguelikes like you'll have you'll be able to like pick your loadout before you actually go in, but in this game like they have you pick it and then like you go in. And I think the intention is that like they want to have like variety because they don't want people to just like run the meta shit, because like if everyone can pick stuff what they wanted beforehand, every squad's just gonna run all the same guns and stuff. So I imagine that's why they want to avoid that.
I agree. Yeah.
Now I think like if you tune it correctly, you can have variety. But I think their intention is like, no, we want you to like improvise and like do it on the fly. We don't want you to like run the meta shit over and over again. But like I said, like if you balance it properly, that won't be as much of a problem.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't really have a problem with weapons being picked there, like at the beginning, like that, or grenades for that matter. It'll force you to become adaptive because like I said, if you run the same gun over and over again, and not just a meta, but it's just gonna be boring because meta like it implies you're competing against other players like in an Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, but here it's you and your friends and your allies against the computer. So in that case, it's all about having fun. So using a weapon that you've never used for the first time in like a Hazard 5, that sounds like an awful idea, but it sounds like a fucking great time with your buddies. Like, hey, what does this button do? Oh shit, friendly fire! You knock down one of your dwarves, and now you're like one person down. Oh god. So I imagine, So I think they're gonna keep it like that for a while. They'll definitely try to tweak the balance before, and if that doesn't work, then they might just switch it out. Yeah. So the only thing you can modify loadout wise is abilities that you could take with you, and that's where I don't even know what it's called. It's a special token with an insignia. It's not called scripts. It's called something else. But you actually use that to unlock
chips.
Chips, yes, chips.
Yeah.
Chips
and those upgrades are also like a little generic as well because they apply to all of your classes.
Everybody.
Yeah. I think it would be cool if they had like class specific ones also on top of the generic ones.
Yes.
So like if you level up your character class, you get like a specific token for that character class, and then you could use that to get a specific upgrade for that class. And
yes,
I think that would incentivize you to play with other classes, so that way you can unlock their skill trees as well.
Yes, and it's funny because it loops back to your point about the workbench, how the workbench has class-specific upgrades. It's like, well, why not just have that in the beginning and have them be permanent? Because after all, in a roguelike, every time you complete a run, you're supposed to be stronger. But the upgrades for your class that you get in the run and the workbench, they go away after the run is complete. So, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Because right now, every one of those like loadout, permanent upgrade, things, it's like plus 12 armor. Oh, you get 10% more when you resupply at an armor station. And, you get 10% more.
Little boring stat boosts.
Yeah, exactly. Minor stat boosts instead of actual meaningful upgrades. Like, oh, when you use your crit dart, it spreads to 3 other enemies, or when you like you said, when you do the slicing, it leaves a wake of fire damage or whatever. Like that would be cool. That would be meaningful upgrades that make the class unique. So
yeah, so they definitely have their work cut out for them. But I'm sure they'll pull through because I mean Deep Rock Galactic it's an amazing game. We absolutely love it. One of the best co-op games ever. Like up there with like Left 4 Dead 2 and Resident Evil 5.
Yes.
That's like some of the best co-op experiences of all time. So they definitely, they have the time, they have the talent.
They have the resources.
They absolutely have the resources, right? People want to play this game, right? I'm pretty sure they probably sold a lot of early access copies, and they'll probably just keep selling as they keep updating into the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, and and even then they have the goodwill of their fans and the gaming community because they've they've done good, and they want to try something new, so they'll have the support of the community, 100%.
Yeah. So best of luck to the developers. Sorry, Ghost Ship. Yeah, okay, it is Ghost Ship. I was gonna say Coffee. Like, is it Coffee Stain Gaming or Go? No, it's Ghost Ship. Oh yeah, it's Ghost Ship.
No, it's Ghost Ship. Coffee Stain is the publisher.
Yeah. So best of luck to them, guys. I hope you guys pull something through because this could be something really cool. This game potentially has, could potentially like have even better replay value than Deep Rock Galactic. And I hope they do achieve that because Deep Rock Galactic is already like an amazing game and a very replayable one at that.
Yes, dude, super replayable.
All right,
absolutely love it.
So, how about we get into some news?
Absolutely, my friend.
What is our first order of news?
Well, first order of news. Well, strap in your seatbelts because we're going to be hanging around the Sony train for probably the first half of this episode. Jesus Christ! Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. So let's do our first order of business. We have here Sony announcing a PlayStation Plus price increase due to quote ongoing market conditions because of course market conditions suck, so we got to make it suck for the consumer even more. So starting on May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions, which will it'll start at the new prices will be starting at $10.99 in US dollars, $9.99 for euros, and $7.99 for the British pound for 1 month subscriptions, and I rounded up. My bad. $27.99 US dollars, €27.99 euro, and $21.99 British pounds for 3 month subscriptions. So the monthly subscription goes up by $1. While the 3 month goes up by $3, the price change does not apply to current subscribers, except those in Turkey and India. That's weird. Unless the existing subscription changes or lapses. So if you already locked in your price, please, guys, do not let it run out.
Yeah, you found using it.
Yeah.
Make your choice now.
Please. Make your choice now. Sorry. The news comes amid the price rises across the video game industry, particularly for hardware. Sony itself raised the price of the PS5 back in March, as we all know, and they're blaming continued pressures in the global economic landscape. And of course, as you know, PlayStation fans have not had great things to say about the news, with some saying that PlayStation Plus shouldn't be required for online gaming in the first place, and that these new price rises make gaming on PlayStation even costlier. Others have head out at Sony for blaming the rise on ongoing market conditions, pointing out Xbox just cut the price of Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. There's one tweet here by Ben replying to the PlayStation Twitter page. Blaming market conditions is insane. It should be free to play online games without paywalls in 2026. Damn, he almost sounds like he plays on PC.
I mean, during back in the PS3 days, it was free. Actually,
yes,
that was the advantage they had over Xbox Live.
It was, and for some reason, it's funny because there was a Video Game Donkey video that criticized it. They're like, "Oh, fuck it, you could make money for nothing." So they pulled a 180, and they started charging for PlayStation Online with I believe the PlayStation 4 is when they started charging, correct?
Yeah. And it was funny because it was during that E3 where we saw Sony execute Xbox live in front of millions of people, and one of the things I remember clear as day, dude. It was I think it was Jack Tretton, I think he was the president at the time, and they were like, "Oh yeah, on PS4, you always own your games, even if they are used. You can always sell them." Everyone was losing their shit. Like, yeah, whoa, dude. There will never be an online check-in. Woo, yeah. And then like under his breath, he was like, "Oh no, PlayStation will be cost us a subscription of $4.99 a month." He just said that under his breath, like really quick. While everyone's losing their fucking minds. He just snuck it in there while everyone's losing their shit over watching Microsoft get absolutely demolished in one of the most disrespectful ass E3s of all time.
It was extremely disrespectful, and to be fair, Xbox, like, they executed themselves. Like, they shot both feet and then the chest.
Which funny enough, just quick side tangent there. I saw on Twitter that the Video Game Awards tweeted that 13 years ago today was the infamous Xbox One reveal.
Yep.
Where they went TV, sports, TV, sports, TV, Call of Duty, TV. And then, yeah, we just saw them lose their entire audience in real time.
Oh, yeah.
But I digress.
No. It was quite a sight to behold. And honestly, a lot of people are kind of, I don't know. It looks like people are willing to leave PlayStation because of the price hikes, especially since they've kind of reneged on every promise that they've made since that E3.
Well, I mean, the problem with that is that PlayStation is still like the one stop for premium console gaming, because it's like, well, we got PlayStation that actually has games on it as opposed to Xbox. As compared to Xbox.
This is true.
And we have exclusives, unlike Xbox. Like, we have reasons for you to own a PS5 versus an Xbox.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, if you can afford it.
And it will be like that, for the foreseeable future, because Xbox spent 2 generations shitting itself.
Of course. And I get it. PlayStation has every reason to essentially gouge their audience. But you can only gouge people for so long, especially here in the second part of the article. It says it's worth noting that PlayStation price hike, PlayStation Plus price hike comes 6 months before the planned release of GTA 6, which is supposed to draw a lot of people into the consoles because hey, GTA 6 is going to be a console only game until a bajillion years before we can touch it.
Yeah, and God knows how many units they're going to be pushing. Like, price hikes be damned. People will buy a PS5 for GTA 6.
Yeah.
And they will buy it in droves.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Putting that into perspective now, this really does feel like they're just setting themselves up for GTA 6.
I think they really are. No, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind, because people are going to be paying through the nose for it. Even though they'll probably suffer like a short-term lull, because people are like, nah, I'll just pay for I'll pay for PlayStation Plus when GTA 6 comes out.
But then once GTA 6 comes out, come November,
yes,
GTA 6 and the holiday season, oh man, yeah, people are gonna go fuck wild for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
that game is gonna make $1 billion in its 24 hours. It'll be the first $1 billion in 24 hours, probably.
It's honestly gonna be pretty insane. Meanwhile, I still have to finish a lot of games on my library.
Wait, but there's more than just one price hike, though, huh?
No, not just. So it's not just a PlayStation Plus Essential. It is also premium and extras that are getting expensive as well. Because, of course, this one actually came in almost under the radar. But now, however, with the price increases, it's clear that it's going to apply to all 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus. So now, PlayStation Plus Extra will cost, I'm just going to round up, 12 British pounds, which is $17 US a month. And then 35 pounds, which is $44 for 3 months, American dollars for 3 months. While the premium subscription goes to $15. 15 British pounds and $20 for 1 month, and 40. Oh Jesus, there's a lot of numbers. And then 44 pounds, which is $55 US dollars for 3. However, annual subscriptions are unaffected for now, so that's still the best deal, which usually is the case. Well, so there's going to be a lot. Well, there's not going to be. There is a lot of price hikes happening over on the side of Sony. They're probably prepping for GTA 6. However, they're probably also trying to recoup on their, their Bungie costs.
Yeah. Which we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. No. We'll jump that bridge when we get there.
we will jump that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, so there's a lot of price hikes going on. Sony is trying to set themselves up so that they don't have to report a loss on their next earnings report, whatever that is. However, something that I actually mentioned, failed to mention, that was in the previous article, but Sony has forecasted annual sales, as its gaming business is down 6% to 4.42 trillion yen, which is $28 billion for the current financial year, due to lower hardware sales. With the PS5 now being more expensive and approaching its 6th birthday. It's been out for 6 years.
It's been out for 6 years.
Huh.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. However, they do expect the gaming profit to rise 30% due to higher first-party software sales and the absence of, well, the huge impairment loss it recorded.
Which I guess covered.
Bungie. Yes, we did. And also, Insomniac, Wolverine game is due to be out this financial year, which should, in theory, make a contribution to Sony's overall performance for the year. Yeah. So actually, it's going to be a couple things. It's going to be, I mean, I don't want to say GTA 6, but yeah, GTA 6 will be a huge pusher for consoles and a huge pusher for PlayStation Plus subscriptions. But Wolverine will also definitely be helping in that regard. The question is, though, will they actually be making a profit, or will they just be covering for the lost money that they've spent on Bungie?
Oh, they'll make a profit. Don't worry.
They'll make okay.
They will make a profit, and I'm sure I'm sure Wolverine will also get like a low key boost from GTA. I think Wolverine will actually get a low key boost from GTA 6 because people will buy the console. They'll have GTA 6, right? But they'll be like, hey, you know what? This Wolverine game was kind of cool. I might as well pick that up too, right?
Yeah, since I already have a PlayStation, I'll just buy this Wolverine game.
And if Sony is, I don't know if they've announced this or not, but if they're smart, they'll have a bundle for like Wolverine and
oh yeah, oh for sure. Honestly, yeah, I would not be surprised if they had a Wolverine bundle with like a Wolverine skinned PlayStation controller with the claw marks and shit.
Yeah, if they did that and released it, that would definitely get a lot of copies out, and then and then GTA 6 will probably give like a boost, right? Because people will be like, oh, I'll just get the Wolverine bundle, and then I'll get GTA 6 with it as well.
Yeah.
Even if they because it'll be like at a discounted price if they bundle it together naturally. But I think even at that point, it would still probably make a ton of money, even if you take like a $20 loss on the Wolverine game.
Yeah,
it would probably still sell like a lot.
Yeah, most likely.
All right.
Yeah, but that's not it for Sony. As turns out, Build the Rocket Boy is not the only one getting hit with lawsuits, as PlayStation console owners are launching a class action lawsuit against Sony over tariff refunds that should actually go to the consumer instead of the company, because go figure. So the name of the case, Walker et al. V. Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California on May 6th, arguing that they're entitled to compensation from Sony after they've received what they call a substantial windfall following the tariff policy enacted by the U.S. President Donald Trump last year. As you know, Sony and a bunch of other merchants and just about everybody raised prices on all their goods in response to the tariff policy that was enacted last year, and following the Supreme Court decision in February 2026, declaring them unconstitutional, there has been a massive what's the word I'm looking for? Refund wave back to these said companies for compensation for quote unquote lost revenue due to tariffs. Now, and Sony obviously was one of them, because I believe they raised the standard PS5 by $50 in August 2025, directly citing the tariffs. Now, the class action lawsuit hinges on the belief that there is a double recovery windfall, that Sony passed on the tariff cost to the consumer, and now that tariff cost is being refunded to them, so they're essentially double dipping in revenue. Because, of course, the refunds, if you passed the cost down to the consumer, then the consumer should get the money and not the company, correct? Right? Yes.
I mean, I guess that's
Should.
what that is
Should.
that is what they're arguing.
Yeah, that is what they're arguing. Which, yeah, of course. But
I mean, on
Sony
principle, that sounds
conveniently-
reasonable to me. But I'm also a
Yes,
consumer,
absolutely.
so I mean, it's also up to the court.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. But of course, Sony did not pass on the savings like they would pass on the price hike. So they're essentially arguing that Sony should give those savings back to the consumer, and it would potentially affect gamers who purchased a PlayStation during the price hike following the initial August increases. And this is actually not dissimilar to a case filed against Nintendo last month, which argued the same thing, that any tariff refunds received by Nintendo should be returned to customers after they bought Nintendo Switch accessories that were hit with the price increase in April 2025, which I believe we covered as well. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I kind of already did ask you. I mean, if you're a good person with good morals and good common sense, obviously, if they passed, it's typical business practice to pass the cost down to the customer. But when you get the money back, you should give it back to the customer.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just
I
good business
think
practice.
I think that is a reasonable expectation. I mean, it's kind of hinges on the fact that like these tariffs were illegal, so they shouldn't have happened in the first place at all. It wasn't like the result of like a bad business decision that just like didn't pan out or something. I mean, even then, in that case, I would still say like you should probably refund your customer. But in this case, it's the fact that it just shouldn't have happened at all, and it was completely outside of the control of everyone involved, Sony and the customer included.
Yeah.
So therefore, both the customer and Sony, I'd say, should be compensated.
Yeah, absolutely. And if let's just say that the money goes back to the consumer, then Sony essentially will just reach a theoretically net zero, because they pass the cost down to the consumer, and then now the consumer is getting that money back. So everything should balance out to zero.
Yeah, it's a net neutral situation.
Exactly. It'll be a net neutral situation for the customer to get the money back. So, but I don't know. Who knows? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony was like, "Nah, fuck you. We're keeping this money. We need this money."
I mean, that is what they're gonna try to fight for in court.
Obviously, yeah. It's like, nah, fuck you. I got mine. Screw you. So, yeah. So we'll see how this pans out. I think it's going to turn out exactly like I think. I think these poor people are not going to see 1 cent of the tariff refunds. So
well, we'll see.
I would hope that not to be the case. So, and honestly, Sony can use some good PR, because they're kind of hiking prices on everything, and that's not a good look.
Yeah, and Nintendo's going through it now too. Like they're, like you said in the article.
Yes.
They're also getting a similar lawsuit. So hopefully, surely like one will probably affect the other depending on which one comes to the decision first.
Yeah, because
so Sony needs Nintendo to lose that. I mean, sorry, the people suing Sony need Nintendo to lose their case if they want to win their case, and vice versa.
Yes.
So we'll see. The both cases hinge on each other. I don't think, are they both happening in the same? I didn't catch that actually. All right. Well, they're class action lawsuits, so it could go across state lines. It's not really like. I just wonder where the court case is taking.
Well, I will say this: I am 100% sure that it's being
Northern District.
Yeah,
Northern District, California. Yeah. So that's the Sony one, but then what's the Nintendo one?
I think also in California. Hang on. File class action lawsuit. Sorry, I'm reading the article. I used the link in the demand can't refund. It does not say.
Yeah, I don't see it here either.
Yeah, but if I were to make an educated guess, I'd say some court in California that is where it was filed.
Yeah, California's a bit more consumer friendly compared to most states.
Yeah, a bit. That's an understatement. But we'll also get to that bridge when we get to it.
All right.
But yeah.
How about next one?
Yeah.
Still on that Sony train.
Yep. Still on that Sony train. Hell yeah, but we're actually moving quite along. This will be the last little bit of Sony news we have here. Well, we kind of already knew that this was happening, but this is just more of the same. That PlayStation's single games will stay. Sony's single player games will stay PlayStation exclusive with no PC ports whatsoever, according which was according to CEO Herman Holtz. So, we covered this before back in March that a report from Bloomberg pointed to PlayStation moving away from bringing its first-party narrative-driven single-player games like God of War, Saros, and Ghost of Yotei to PC. However, they didn't say anything about the multiplayer games like Marathon, Helldivers 2, all that stuff. They will still head to other platforms, but they're going to keep their main thing, which is the single-player narrative-driven experience on the PlayStation moving forward. Now, in a town hall meeting with the CEO of PlayStation, CEO of Sony, excuse
Studio
me.
businesses.
Studio businesses, excuse me. Chief Executive Officer told staff that player narrative games will be PlayStation console exclusive titles going forward. So here is a list of all the games that did make it to PC, and I think this is going to be it. Like, this will be the only PlayStation games to make it to the PC for the foreseeable future. New games like Marvel's Wolverine and Naughty Dog's new game Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet will be PlayStation exclusives. However, Guerrilla Games' Hunter's Gathering, which is the multiplayer spinoff of Horizon Zero Dawn, will still be coming to PC, as well as other third-party titles. Now, the decision was made, according to previous reports that indicated that PlayStation simply wasn't seeing commercial return. It needed to keep making these ports. The first batch of PC ports did well. However, with each new port that was made, they felt the sales dropping, so they just simply decided it wasn't worth it anymore. So, and that's pretty much the long and short of it. They just did not see a reason financially to keep porting these games to PC. And do you have any thoughts on that, or is it pretty? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
My thoughts are pretty similar to when we last discussed this back when it was just a report and not really confirmed yet. And it's like, well, I mean, it sucks for PC players. It sucks for guys like you, but it's good for me because I actually have a reason now to buy shit on my PlayStation now.
It's no longer a paperweight.
And I mean, it's no longer a Final Fantasy machine anymore. Even though I'm probably gonna buy Rebirth again. I'm probably gonna buy Remake and Rebirth again on PC before Part 3 comes out. Just so I can play through them.
I'll never get to see Part 3.
No, that'll come out PC. Yeah.
Part 3?
Yeah. Square's gonna put down Part 3 on PC.
Isn't that considered a first party PlayStation game?
No. They had a deal with Sony, but they're not gonna do that for the next game.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
It's Square's IP. They don't it's all partnership stuff now, so he doesn't own any of that.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
Okay, yeah. So don't worry, you'll be able to experience it. and Square is also like, hey, we're going multi-platform now. We're not gonna do this exclusive bullshit because it's been costing us a lot of money. So you can expect day and date Part 3 to come out on PC because they've been very adamant about going multi-platform, and Remake and Rebirth have been selling pretty well on Switch 2 and stuff. So they're definitely gonna go multi-platform.
Yeah.
But it's bad for you, good for me. And I at least on Sony's end, I understand why. It does suck for PC, but I understand why. The economics really just isn't there. They could release it day and date, and they'll make a lot of money off the copies, but then it would kind of devalue their consoles. And ultimately, that's Sony's goal is to sell you the consoles so that way they can get you in their ecosystem because they want you to be on PSN. They want you to pay the monthly subscription, and they want their cut of the money. Like when you make a digital purchase on PSN, like if you buy Final Fantasy Part 3, right? They get a 30% cut off that every time.
Of course.
Versus if they
absolutely.
sell it on Steam, they lose 30% of that to Steam, and they just make whatever money they make off of the copy.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense, you know? I completely get it. I get it.
It just sucks, that's all.
It does suck. But I'm not gonna buy, you know, a $900
yeah.
was $900 PlayStation and then pay a price hiked thing while I have internet. Well, not internet for free, but I get to play games online for free. Like I don't have to pay Steam to play online. It's just there, gratis.
Yeah, exactly. So
Man. So it is unfortunate. However, it's just the way it is. And hopefully it'll pan out for PlayStation. They need to remember that the barrier to entry for getting into PlayStation should be low, because if you're going to price out your consumer if you have the consoles being too expensive, and also if you have the PlayStation Plus subscription being too expensive, because people forget that middle class is a pretty big selection of people, and you can't be pricing people out of their hobbies, because then, well, I mean, maybe that's the point. Maybe they just want the whales in the hobby, because the whales are the ones that are gonna pay through the nose regardless of how much it is.
And at least for the time being, they can get away with it. But maybe Asha Sharma and her crew, like, she's saying all the right things right now. I mean, we still don't know how it's gonna pan out, but they are they're seemingly making all the right moves.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, in terms of console, I meant this mostly for I was directing this comment to PlayStation, because they're the ones that are hiking the price everywhere while Microsoft is cutting prices. So, we'll see. Maybe it looks like right now there's a turn in the industry, and like you said, if Microsoft continues to actually make good on the words you're saying, they could be the ones coming out on top for the end of the generation or for the next one. So
the next one, not remember, this one. This one's cooked.
No.
This one's cooked.
Yeah, I know they're resetting.
Everything is going to be like Project Helix from up to that point. Which, to build off that, there was also like people thinking like Sony probably, because Project Helix is supposed to be a PC console hybrid, that Sony probably doesn't want people playing their games on a Xbox console.
Yeah.
So there is also that angle as well.
Yes. And let's not forget, we keep forgetting, but we still have the Steam machine as well. And that might have some consequences on the industry itself, as far as, shaking things up, because, people are going to buy the Steam machine. I mean, the Steam controller fucking sold out, and it was just a fucking controller. So that will have some effect on the industry as well going forward, whenever that comes out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, next generation is going to be very interesting to see unfold.
Yes,
because we are in some uncharted waters at this point. Like the old way of doing things is pretty much over.
Yes,
with the old way being you release a console, you release some exclusives, and like that's it. Like that's how you make your money. Now, like, you have all these different revenue sources that they make with all this games as a service bullshit that Sony was trying to do. You have all, like, online subscriptions. They definitely failed.
They failed.
We're gonna talk about it. Right, but now, like, you have all these subscriptions, and then you have Game Pass and free to play games, like all these different ways to like make money off of games now. Whereas before, it was you make the game, you sell the game, and if your games are good enough, you sell consoles with it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, who knows at this point? Now, like, we have all these companies going in wildly different directions, with Sony kind of like sort of trying to do it the old fashioned way, sort of, maybe. They kind of deviated from that this generation. Xbox doing whatever the fuck it was they were doing. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They're just like, oh, we're going to be a third-party publisher now. Like, they tried to go the way of Sega in the messiest way possible. And Nintendo, I guess Nintendo actually, now that I think about it, Nintendo is actually probably closer to like that old school mentality of like, make a console, release a game,
with Mario,
and release exclusives for that console. You make money off that, and then that's like pretty much it. So yeah, like in that way, then yeah, so Nintendo will probably be closer to it. But even then, Nintendo was like deviating away from like it's funny because it was like Sony and Xbox were like going the old fashioned way, and Nintendo was like, all right, we're gonna like deviate away from this. Like we're not gonna enter this graphical arms race anymore because we just can't fight it anymore. Which is why the Wii and Wii U came out the way it was.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the Switch came out, and everyone was like, "Oh shit! Like this is a brand new way of playing games. Like I could play it at home, or I could just, take it with me and just play it wherever the hell I want. If I, on the train to work, on the plane ride over to like my business trip, I could take it to my friend's party. We could play it together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then with Switch 2, they were like, "Oh no, we're just gonna double down on that. Except now it's gonna be even more powerful at this point."
Which, to be fair, like, yeah, the Switch was great. Like, it was a great idea. It was just the hardware that powered it, as we discussed it. It was literal, like, it was duct tape.
Yeah,
in dreams. Like,
it was held together by duct tape and dreams, pretty much.
Yeah. So they just essentially, like you said, they doubled down on it and made it proper, like with actual hardware that can be considered, next gen. It just really what brought in my opinion, I mean, it really didn't bring it down that much because it sold well, but just expensive. They nickel and dimed everything.
Yeah,
right up to the texture packs for games that already existed. That like
for frame boosts and an HD resolution boost.
Oh my god, this looks so great. Where's the price? Nintendo's like,
and you still gotta pay $70 for a game that came out like 10 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god. So, but like you said, they are the ones that are doing it the old way. However, now, who knows what they're gonna do? They've always done their own thing anyway. It's really gonna be how it works out for Microsoft and for Sony, and now Steam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now Xbox is like, oh, like they went from like, oh, we're gonna be like a third-party publisher to like, maybe we won't do that. Like they're kind of reconsidering it, but we're also gonna have like this crazy console PC hybrid thing that's gonna possibly run on Windows 11. God help us if that happens.
No,
but yeah, like the console business has changed so drastically now, and everyone's doing completely different things at this point.
Yeah, and time will tell who chose the right path to take. Like it's really going to come down to the next gen, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a mixture of everything, but I think one person will come out on top. The only thing I hope to God, is that prices stay good, because
yes,
again,
that is
again focusing on, because the one method that sucks regardless of what way you look at it is pricing, like I said, for whales, like pricing for the minority of people.
Yeah, your most hardcore.
Yeah, the most hardcore of hardcore that will pay $2,000 for whatever the fuck without blinking an eye. No, that is unsustainable. And like I said, you're gonna price normal people like us out of our hobby, and things are already expensive as it is. So, and again, if we're gonna make a choice between the new Grand Theft Auto and the grocery bill or the grocery list, a normal person is going to choose groceries. So, take that information what you will, but they need to keep the price competitive.
Yeah, most certainly. Definitely. That's gonna be like number one thing. Like, how are we gonna build it sustainable in the future?
Yeah, because if not, it's just gonna be something that to watch other people play on YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so how about we move from the Sony train to the not too dissimilar Bungie train?
I was gonna say, technically speaking, we're still on the Sony.
Yeah, technically, we're on the transition trip.
Yeah, we're on the layover. We're on the layover. All right, excellent. Lay it on me.
Oh man! So we have Bungie announcing that they will be ending support for Destiny 2 and entering maintenance mode with all expansions being canceled.
Oh no!
And
Who
they
could
have
seen this
announced
coming?
this. Yeah, they have announced this as of May 21st, and this is an article by Forbes by Paul Tassi, who is a really big Destiny 2 guy. Like he pretty much made his career writing about Destiny 2 for Forbes, and
Fuck.
yeah, like that was pretty much like his career for such a long time. He even talks about it here, like about what Destiny personally meant to him. But yeah, Destiny 2 will eventually be entering maintenance mode, and so while it's not necessarily dead, it will be stagnant pretty much for the indefinite future. But you're not going to be totally dead in the waters. There will be one final update in June that will bring some more tiered loot, a final moment of triumph, whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is, and Sparrow Racing, which is pretty much like your hover bikes in the game. So you're gonna be able to actually do some racing in that, which I'm surprised they haven't added that sooner. Wow, that seemed like such a natural thing to do. Okay, but of course, Destiny fans are royally pissed because Bungie will now be shifting over support to Marathon, which has been kind of floundering for quite some time now and has been struggling to maintain its player base and has been perceived by Destiny fans as kind of cannibalizing resources that could have gone into a potential Destiny 3 as well as more updates for Destiny 2.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also additionally frustrating because it seemed like Destiny 2 was going to keep getting support even through a slimmed down fashion, but it seemed like they could even go a full year with reduced content after Destiny 2 ended with the final shape, which was their final expansion pack. It was kind of their end game at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone is pretty pissed off right now that they're supporting Marathon, and like I said, the hope was that they would move on to Destiny 3, but that was never been confirmed by them, and it also seems kind of unlikely given that Bungie has gone through so many layoffs at this point, and so many of the remaining devs have been moved on to Marathon, and then on top of that, you'd have to wait 4 to 5 years tops, right? Or not tops, right? Best case scenario for a Destiny 3 to even show up in the first place.
Yeah.
But, at least if you were to ask Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, he would say, yeah, don't hold your breath for Destiny 3 because, Bungie isn't really going to be developing it, at least not in the immediate future. It has not been in development at all, any period in time. And they actually have no specific projects greenlit at all over in Bungie. Bungie themselves even said in their press release that we're working on trying to see what our next game is going to be, and we're stopping development of Destiny 2 in order to position ourselves in the best way possible to do that. And when people were asking Jason about why Destiny 3 wasn't really in the cards in the first place, he said over on his Blue Sky account that the answer, as it usually is how much money it would take. And that is unsurprising given how expensive Destiny was and how Destiny 2 have been kind of floundering for a while now. Even with the final shape doing as well as it did, it was kind of like a too little too late kind of thing. Like Destiny 2 was floundering for a very long time. It didn't really attract any new players. Pretty much anybody who was playing Destiny 2 was playing since Destiny 1. And then there was that controversial move where Bungie decided to sunset their content that people paid for.
Which we covered as well.
Yeah. I got a little shit on my screen, huh? So they sunsetted that. A lot of people got pissed. A lot of people actually left because of that. And then you have new players that are like, well, I don't see a reason why I should play it because all this story critical content is missing from the game, and I don't know when it's going to come back. The idea was okay, we're going to sunset it. They're we'll bring it out, bring it back every once in a while, right? But it's as a new player, it's okay, when is that going to happen? I don't know when it's going to happen. Why am I going to invest in this game and be lost of the bajillion mechanics and currencies and all this other shit that I got to keep up with? Because Bungie is essentially an MMO. I mean, it's not Bungie. Destiny is essentially an MMO. It's an MMO light ass game. And even though it was successful in its early days, of course. It pretty much was the blueprint for games to surface along with Fortnite as well. Because I remember when Bungie, goddamn, I don't want to say but Destiny hit the scene. It was huge, right? I know in 2014, it was it kind of struggled a bit, and then around 2015, 2016, when they started releasing expansion packs, people were oh, this game's actually pretty great. We're gonna keep playing it, right? And it attracted millions and millions of players all across the world, and it has a huge fan base. personally, I didn't really care for it. I'm like, I didn't really like how the game launched at first. I'm like, I don't really feel like playing this anymore. But they were able to build an audience. It's just they weren't able to sustain it. And then on top of that, you have Bungie leadership like Pete Parsons, Mr. Car Collector, absolutely fleecing the shit out of Sony with their whole like, what was it, like it was like $7 billion or $8 billion that Sony spent to acquire them in order to fulfill their games as a service pipe dream, with the hopes that Bungie was going to be the vanguard for their games as a service push, which we all know how that went.
Yep.
We all know how it went. We all know how it's going. Pretty much fuck all to show for it. So yeah, it seems like no one's really happy about this.
No, there's not. No.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if this was in the article, but I did see that Jason Schreier did say that there will probably be more layoffs over at Bungie.
Well, yeah, of course, because Marathon is floundering. It's not making the money that it was supposed to make. They're shutting a game down, essentially. Not shutting it down, but they're stopping development, which is going to take devs away from Destiny 2 over to Marathon, and then they're going to cut whoever is left over and have a skeleton crew working on Destiny 2 for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if we get layoffs from Bungie, because we've seen this pattern many times before.
Yeah, and they've gone through a lot of layoffs already. Like they've lost like half of their workforce at this point, which is insane. It's happened in like the span of like 3 years. I think like their workforce has been cut by 50% effectively.
Yeah.
And all their old leadership, I think, like kind of left at this point after they went, all right, got my Sony money, got my golden parachute. Peace out, y'all. Woo!
For sure, dude.
Yeah, so big F's for the Destiny community.
Yeah, big F's indeed. Feel bad.
Yeah, but any other thoughts?
No, man. It's just sad. It's funny because I think we called it earlier. I mean, we said that I know we said that the game would probably get shut down to support Marathon, and I mean, yeah, we're kind of right in a sense, but only half right, because the game is still alive. It's not dead, but we knew it was going to happen. We were just waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, yeah, dude, they're going to be pouring money into Marathon trying to save the game. Mm-hmm. And the only way they were going to have a chance at that is to just completely ignore Destiny 2. So I'm actually surprised that they're leaving it operational in maintenance mode. I thought they would just axe it completely, but I guess that's going to be later down the line. So it's sad. Very, very sad time.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Marathon, because Marathon can't even reach the numbers of Destiny 2 has had in this lull period that it's had. like the player count is even lower than what Destiny 2 is currently, and we're talking about a 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
So who knows? And like Marathon has been on a downward trend, and also like Marathon is like a hardcore extraction shooter, so it doesn't have the mass appeal of Destiny.
Exactly. And we've talked about it before, that games where it's you and people against the computer, I think, are way more inviting, appealing than games where you play against other people. Like, PvE is more appealing than PvP, if that makes sense. But but specifically the Left 4 Dead type of PvE, where it's like you and 3 of your friends versus like a mob of people, like a horde of people, like Helldivers, Left 4 Dead, Deep Rock, like we've discussed, even Deep Rock Rogue Core. There is an appeal to that, and Destiny has that appeal, whereas Marathon, well,
yeah,
I'm sorry, dude. We play Overwatch. PvP sucks. Okay, we play Rivals. PvP blows. It's rage-inducing, and a lot of people don't want to be raged out playing a game. They want to be. Dude, the fantasy is fighting the impossible with your friends. That's appealing as fuck. Not hardcore extraction shooters where you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, you're gonna get screwed by some jackass in the corner. camping
that
away.
has no job.
Has
no job.
Some unemployed.
Unemployed.
Basement dweller, sweaty ass salamander of a human being, just sitting there waiting for you to come around the corner to one tap you and take all the shit that you spent hours to get.
Yes, bro. And then teabags you right before lights out, and you're back to the.
And no disrespect to you sweaty ass sulfur dwelling salamanders out there, but
no, huge disrespect. Fuck all you people. Fuck all you.
You guys deserve your games too, but like, come on, you got to see where we're coming from here.
Yeah, bro. We're normies. We're essentially normies.
Yeah, we are normies. We are normies when it comes to this stuff. I already have suffered enough with Overwatch. Okay, I played it yesterday with you, and like there was one game I was mad. The other games I was fine. Whatever. Like we lost one, we won two. There's only that one game I was mad because 5v5 fucking sucks ass. I hate 5v5. Fuck 5v5.
Well, you already heard it in my voice by the second game. You heard it in my voice by the second game. You're like, fuck, he's already tilting. It's like, hey, are you having fun yet? Is this fun? Is this better?
I actually was having fun. I'm like, oh, that's even though we lost, like, oh, that felt so much better. Like, dude, we won one, and I felt bad still in 5v5. I'm like, no, even when we won, I'm like, I feel bad. I don't want to do this. We're switching to 66.
Yeah, bro. Oh, yeah. On a separate topic, we should play Overwatch again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I've been playing it. I've been playing it on and off.
Yeah,
these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, but in any case, Destiny, because of that, it has more appeal than Marathon. So, but of course, this is the new toy. This is the thing that they've been betting on, and like we said, we also said this previously. Marathon was supposed to be the thing that saved Bungie, but as we all know, that's not happening right now.
Yeah, no.
And they're trying to they're trying really hard to stop the bleeding with whatever the fuck they're doing. But I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work.
No. We'll have to wait and see, man. It's
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But
I'm sure we'll hear more about in the future, man. Because like I said, Sony and Bungie are pretty much official friends of the podcast at this point.
Yeah,
it's like every we can't go a month without hearing something about them.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the year of Sony and their antics, and Bungie, but. They're becoming Sony. They're being absorbed slowly.
Yes, they will. The hand of Sony is slowly assimilating them.
Assimilation.
Absorbing them into their amorphous blob. All right. Oh. So, let's continue on. Except now we're going to have yet another Games as a Service roundup. Of dead games here, yeah. So we got more canceled GaaS games. Well, GaaS games is redundant. More GaaS titles.
Titles.
Yeah, Games as a Service titles.
It didn't even click.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
Yeah, you can't say GaaS games because it's Games as a Service games. Like this, that's redundant.
Oh, okay.
That's like saying ATM machine. It's like the M is machine.
No, the M is machine. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you meant like gas is like it's all hot air and there's not actual.
No, GaaS GaaS. Like that's actually like a slang.
Oh, okay. All right, now I know.
That is actually the lingo for it. But starting off, we have Sega officially canceling their mystery super game, which was announced back in 2021, and it was comes as news dropped with an earnings release by Sega Sammy, parent company, and they put it bluntly as they said that they decided to cancel the super game after reviewed the company's strategy on free-to-play games as a service. In other words, hey, this shit sucks. we're gonna lose a fuckload of money on this, so we're gonna just cut it while we're out. And they said that in place of their free-to-play focus, they will be moving their free-to-play development teams over to in-development titles, most of which are actually reboots of existing Sega IPs, such as a new Jet Set Radio game, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage. Yay!
I am very excited for Crazy Taxi.
Oh, really? Wow, okay. So they actually did tease something on Twitter, so I imagine either Summer Games Fest or the Sony State of Play, they will probably announce something. I didn't know you were a Crazy Taxi fan. Okay,
dude, that was one of the first games I played in the arcade.
So. Okay. Yeah, personally, Streets of Rage is my jam. But they also will be working on a new Virtua Fighter game as well as a follow-up to Alien Isolation.
Ooh, scary.
So for this super game itself, no one really knows what the hell it was. Sega was very vague on what exactly it was doing. We just know that they were planning on releasing it in 2026. And when they were describing the Super game, they said that they were it was part of an initiative as a strategy to develop new and innovative titles with a focus on global reach, online interactivity, community building, and IP utilization. Whatever the fuck that means.
That was a
word.
I like your
that was
funny
a corporate word
words.
salad I ever heard.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Yeah, that was just corporate word salad. I mean, it was probably like, I imagine a lot of people were thinking is that it was probably like something like Fortnite. Like they were trying to have like their own Fortnite with like Sega IPs, like, you know, have like Sonic running around a battle royale field and like shooting.
My
I don't know, Akira from Virtua Fighter or something.
I don't like how that sounds.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yes, it's a good thing that yes, it's a good thing Sega had the foresight to finally, call it curtains on that. But we also have Quantic Dreams, the developers of Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and Heavy Rain, canceling their own MOBA live service game that they were trying to make called Spellbreakers. Wait, is that what it's called? Yeah, Spellcasters. Sorry, Spellcasters Chronicles.
Yeah,
Spellcasters Chronicles. And this came as the game was launched back in February in early access, and it was intended to be a free-to-play game, but it has since struggled to maintain a healthy player base, as it only had 888 concurrent players at launch. And as of the writing of the article, which was on May 20th, they only had a 24-hour peak of just 54 people. So yeah, definitely not enough to maintain a multiplayer game. So instead of trying to see it through to a 1.0 release, they decided that no, we're just going to cancel it altogether, and they said that there will be potentially layoffs. However, they did say that this isn't going to affect their Star Wars games, which was Star Wars Eclipse, and which was announced back in 2021, by the way.
Yeah, they're still working on that.
And they're insisting, hey, like, there's no delays, there's no development hell, we're good, right? It's just taking us 5 fucking years from the announcement to finally show something. But that game is supposed to take place within the High Republic era.
Yeah, the High Republic era. It's supposed to be well, I mean, if you've played a Quantic Dream game before, it's gonna be exactly like that. Right?
Well, they said it was actually gonna be like traditional story-based gameplay of an action-adventure game. So they were going for something a bit more action-y, like less like interactive movie and more like, like a game you play, like you're full control.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, I mean, that's not really what they're used to doing, because it's usually is a narrative. It's essentially a movie that you play, kind of like Until Dawn. Did it do Until Dawn?
No, that's different developers. That's Supermassive, I think. Yeah, they're still making games to this day.
Yeah. Well, they just did the Until Dawn remake, and I've heard nothing but great things about it.
That was done by a separate company. They released they released that game, Directive 8021, whatever. It looked like Dead Space, but like a Telltale version of like Dead Space.
Never heard of it.
Got like mixed reviews for it. I'd be like, it's not that good.
Okay. Oh well, this will be interesting. I mean, it's a Star Wars game. That's not being made by EA, so who knows?
Yeah. EA having Star Wars was that's a fucking travesty.
That was the dark times.
Yeah, that was a dark time.
That was the dark time.
The dark age of Star Wars games. But we also have the Lord of the Rings MMO entering a dark age itself, as it has also been officially canceled. And this came as confirmation from Eurogames, who released an entire report on their investigation into Amazon's push towards generative AI and subsequent widespread layoffs, which was reported on a few months back after they decided to close down the studio behind what's that game again?
What?
New World. Yeah.
New World.
When they closed down New World and then that studio and laid off 14,000 people across numerous departments, many of which was in the video game departments.
Good Lord.
And apparently the MMO, the Lord of the Rings MMO, was a victim of one of those things. And that would be also, like, back then, there was that developer at the now deleted LinkedIn post who said, like, yeah, I was a part of the layoffs here. We're working on a really cool MMO, and it seems like it's probably going to be dead. But now that has been officially confirmed.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the roundup there. A lot of dead GaaS titles.
Yep, dead GaaS titles. Except for that last one. They're still working on it. They're just canceling the MMO part.
No, we'll get to that in a moment. That is a separate title.
Yeah, it's separate.
That is a
but yeah, yeah. But did GaaS Games honestly wins because games as a service kind of ass. Not gonna lie. Even games like Fortnite, like we've covered, are they're suffering their own little slice of hell. Wait, there you go. They're suffering their own little
the bubble is popping.
The bubble is popping,
and it's popping
we
hard.
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't be happier. So, yeah, hopefully this will lead to a correction in the industry. Hopefully. So yeah, keep not giving them your money. And Sega, please don't fuck up Crazy Taxi, please.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully, and new Streets of Rage, which I gotta buy Streets of Rage 4 because I don't know, like I can Steam share it with you, or I mean screen share it with you on Steam, do a Steam play, or I can just buy you another copy because that's a great game.
Yeah,
I love Streets of Rage games. All right, but we do have some good news. Well, I mean, I guess games dying is good news, but I mean it's good news for everyone. So that MMO, that Lord of the Rings MMO, may be dead, but there is another, as it has been confirmed by Warhorse Studios over on Twitter that they are working on an open world Middle Earth RPG and a new Kingdom Come Deliverance at the same time. And yeah, this comes after there's been like a lot of speculation and rumors about like them working on it, but you know, Warhorse came out and we're like, hey, like we're working on this. Like this is what we're doing.
Yeah. And by the way, this is excellent news. This is very exciting.
Very, very exciting. It seems like such a natural fit. Like we were just talking about it earlier off camera.
Yeah, off cam, yeah.
But yeah, this just seems like such a natural fit because, you know, these guys make such immersive RPGs, open world RPGs. Like they really know how to make something that feels alive and something that you can like truly live in. Like it feels like old school Bethesda games in that way. And yes. I think like a Bethesda style Lord of the Rings game sounds awesome as long as it's not made by Bethesda.
Yeah.
As long as it's made by modern Bethesda.
No, God, no, not modern Bethesda. Which we're still terrified of the new Elder Scrolls. Like we don't want to think about what that's gonna be like when it comes out. Yeah. But back to Warhorse. We're really excited because, you know, they're like kind of like the new darlings, well, one of the new darlings of the industry in terms of making video games. Because the first Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm at the end. I still haven't beaten it, but dude, it's great. Like I was really immersed into it. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, fantastic game, was a finalist for Game of the Year, and a lot of people absolutely adored that game. So to hear them making a Lord of the Rings game, I mean, they were going to make a new Kingdom Come Deliverance. I didn't see the end of the second one. I'm assuming that they left it open for like a part 3. So everyone kind of knew they were going to make that. But the fact that they're also at the same time working on a Lord of the Rings RPG, open world RPG, that's huge. Like, goddamn, that's gotta be some of the best news I've heard in a long time. Because they're definitely we have faith that they will do it justice.
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely will, and it's gonna be cool to see. It's gonna be really cool to see what it is that they do. You know, like Star Wars games are cool. I'm glad Star Wars games are making resurgence, man. But I remember like when we had like Lord of the Rings games too. It was like around that time when like EA was actually like releasing good Lord of the Rings games. Like the Two Towers, like you played did you play the Two Towers and Return of the King, like those beat 'em up games?
I only played Return of the King, and that was fucking dope. I played it on the original Xbox with my cousin, and I don't know if I played it with you, but I remember playing the movie tie-in of the Return of the King, and it was great.
Those games are great.
It was so fucking good. It was so good. I remember that game. It's actually a fond childhood memory of mine. So
and then there's also like those RTS games that was being made by the Command and Conquer devs. I played a little bit of it.
I don't think I didn't get into like those RTS games until much later in life. Actually, no, I don't know. I think the only RTS game I played was the demo for Warcraft 3 on my cousin's computer. But, you know, that was a long ass time ago. And I think the one that I actually played seriously was Age of Empires 3. but I had no idea what the fuck I was doing with that. It was yeah. No. I had no idea. That was my real time strategy. That was my first thing ever, and I was like, yo, build a wall, whatever. Okay, build an army. Why am I being attacked? Like I'm not doing anything. Like,
yeah.
What do you mean I ran out of trees? How do you run out of trees? Yeah.
Plant some more. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, dude. So I never got a chance to play the Lord of the Rings RTSs, but that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, there was the RTS game. And then there was the Battlefront one. They had a Lord of the Rings Battlefront game. And that game, yeah, it was really fun. The Archer
what
class
was that called?
The Archer class was broken as fuck though. It was so broken, bro, because like you have melee characters, and you have the archers, so people just hang back and just, pew, 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 just shoot the archers, and the melee guys try to run in, they just die over and over again.
Conquest. No, you're right. Yes, I do remember this game, but I didn't know it was a Battlefront clone. Well, not a clone, but like a Lord of the Rings.
It was pretty much a Battlefront clone. Yeah, it was pretty much a Battlefront clone. It was unabashedly. I mean, it was the same devs. So it was Pandemic. It was made by Pandemic Studios.
Then it was definitely a clone. They're like, oh, bro, let's just do this for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Easy money printer.
Yeah, and then EA was EA, and they're like, oh, you made a one bad game. Fuck you. You didn't make us $1 billion. And then they stopped making Lord of the Rings games since. Until
so lame.
Until Gollum, the critical darling that everyone's totally asking for, because who wouldn't want to play as Gollum in a video game?
We don't talk about that. That's awful. That's an awful fucking game.
And we covered that. I remember we that was like one of our earliest episodes.
Yes,
we did cover like how like that game was just horribly mismanaged. They had zero clue what they were doing. They originally wanted to make it like more like a visual novel, and they're like, no, let's make an actual game, and they had zero idea what they were doing.
I'm pretty sure it also broke like canon. Like it did some shit that just was not in the in the Lord of the Rings. Like,
and the studio closed down too. They really killed them.
Well, that's I don't know. I don't know what they were doing, but they shouldn't have done that.
No, they shouldn't have.
No, they should not have. So,
any other thoughts?
No, I'm excited. I should no, I can't.
You can't what?
I was gonna say, I should get Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to to finish the trilogy out and get ready, and then you're no, it can't.
You still owe me some playthroughs.
I know.
Look, man, I'm just saying I played through all 4 Trails games.
Hopefully. Listen, I mean it. I mean this when I tell you. I have been so goddamn busy.
Like, I get it. I'm just giving you shit.
No. But not even like, oh no, like I gotta go do errands. Like, no. Like, I don't think I've ever been this busy in my life. But I promise
you're taking classes, you're working, you're applying for school. I get it.
Get it. But this summer,
it's just funny.
This summer, I will finish one of the games I owe you. I will.
Okay.
And it's gonna suck because I haven't played these games in a while. So I'm going to flounder a lot. You're gonna see me fuck up. But I promise you, I will. In the summer. Probably like mid June. I think I can begin. Okay. I can begin anew.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to our final story.
Indeed. Ending on good news all around.
Yeah, some more good news. Great news, even.
Yes. Good news, everyone.
So the Protect Our Games Act over in California, which is a Stop Killing Games backed bill, has passed the California Assembly's Appropriations Committee, which means it is now up for a vote on the floor by the full legislative body. And of course, this is a massive win for Stop Killing Games, the initiative that is meant to stop companies from bricking their live service games or whatever, or that any game for that matter, that you paid for.
Yes.
And this bill specifically would require digital game publishers who cut off support for an online game to either provide a full refund to players or offer an updated version of the game that enables its continued use independent of services controlled by the operator. And the act would also require publishers to notify players 60 days before the services actually go down, as well as to stop sales of said game within that same time period.
Which makes sense, yes. because
and
obviously
the bill was amended to not include completely free games or games offered solely for the duration of a subscription, or any game that is sold before January 1st, 2027. So it's not retroactive, and it doesn't apply to free games or games offered, for pretty much like MMOs and shit, or subscription services.
Yeah. Which, makes sense. Well,
so SKG's Monitz Katzner, who is one of the leaders of Stop Killing Games, wrote on Reddit that after the committee vote, that he said that it has been an honor to take part in drafting this bill on behalf of the SKG community, gamers, developers, and publishers alike. In a formal statement of support of the bill, SKG wrote that there is no other medium in which a product can be marketed and sold to a consumer and then ripped away without notice. As live service games rise in popularity for game developers and gamers alike, end-of-life procedures are essential tools to ensure prolonged access to the games consumers pay to enjoy, which I fully agree with. Now, of course, the ESA, the Entertainment Software Association, who represents a wide assortment of publishers, pushed back against it with a bunch of garbage reasons. And they said that consumers receive a license to access games and use a game, not an unrestricted ownership interest in the underlying work, and that shutting down games or obsoleting games is a natural feature of modern software, which of course is absolute garbage. All their like disagreements with it is either just completely garbage or it's just outside the scope of what the bill is asking for.
Yeah.
The ESA also said that the bill would impose unreasonable expectations on publishers for license rights, music, IP rights, which are generally negotiated on a time-limited basis. And they also said that a legal requirement to keep games playable indefinitely could place publishers in an impossible position, force them to renegotiate licenses indefinitely, or alter games in ways that might be legally or technically feasible. Yeah, we're not asking for it to be indefinitely, keep games playable indefinitely. Like, no, it's just playable for the people who bought it.
Yeah.
In some way. Yeah, so naturally, Moritz Katzner posted on Twitter, which I reposted over on our page, which you can catch us at 2Bark Podcast. Give us a follow. Gave pretty much a breakdown of their retorts to the bill, and he was like, yeah, like this is all kind of garbage. I mean, it's a lot to dissect. But I'll give you like some highlights here. So one of them was saying that the ESA was asking for there to be a no vote on it because the bill risks harming both consumers and the broader video game ecosystem. And to which Kastner says, more than taking away their purchases and money. And he also says, like, this is alarmist. The bill is in response to worse damage being done.
Yep.
They also, like I said, talk about like how the ESA is saying like, oh, it's based on a false premise. You don't own your games. You have like a license to the games, right? And yeah, the bill does not mention ownership. The bill does not grant ownership rights. The bill references games being leased. The bill references subscription services, right? So in other words, like, hey, like this is outside the scope.
Yep.
So if you want to give this, like I said, it's very dense. But if you want to give this a read,
give it a look.
You can either check us out and see my repost, or you can head straight to Moritz Kastner's Twitter page at Moritz _ Kastner, sorry, and you can see his whole breakdown on why the ESA's rebuttal is absolute garbage.
Which is to be expected from lobbyists, but well, technically, they're also lobbyists, like the Stop Killing Games movement. They're the good guys. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there are going to be people that are going to be. There are going to be people that are not going to like the whole consumer friendly position. But something needs to be done because, well,
that man is punching it right now.
Dude, I have not heard that name in a long time. Honestly, I kind of forgot about him because Stop Killing Games kind of took on a life of its own.
It's so funny. Just side tangent. I don't want to give any more attention that he deserves. But like, you can type in his name and like you'll see like nothing but just videos to this day talking about him. Like recent uploads talking about it. You have to go several like scrolls down before you finally get to his videos. But I digress.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, it's all like video essays of White Pirate software is finished. He's going down the rabbit hole and this and that and blah blah blah. And it's like, damn, bro, like that's what it is to farm views now. But I don't even think about him anymore because the movement has taken on a life of its own that I don't even remember. I don't. It's not that I don't remember, but I don't think about like, oh, what catalyzed this movement? He did. Now the movement is moving on its own with its own merits, pushing actual legislation through legislative bodies, and it's exciting to see.
It is. It's very exciting to see.
Yeah.
Because at least like in Europe, like after the signatures were passed, it always felt like, okay, like there's a chance like in Europe there is a chance. Like there was always like that slight hope. Even before the signatures went through.
Yeah.
There was always that slight hope because the EU has always been a bit more, actually quite a bit more consumer friendly than the US. Whereas in the US, our government and courts pretty much tell us to get bent. When it comes to consumer protections. Yeah. So like if this goes through in California, this would be a huge win for US regulations on this front because California is a massive state with a massive share of the US market.
Yes.
Like pretty much like if anything happens in California, a lot of times these companies will just make, countrywide adjustments to their products. They won't be like, oh, let's just make a California version and then to make a rest of the US version. It's a lot easier for them to just be like, okay, just fuck it. We'll just make it for the whole entire, country.
Yeah, federal. They'll make it at the federal level, which to be fair, I think it's going to take a few more states to adopt laws on their own before it's brought up to the attention of the U.S. Congress, especially now because, they're dealing
U.S.
with...
Congress ain't going to fucking...
No, they're dealing with
those
a
guys,
lot of stuff.
Those guys are just going to collect retirement checks. That's it.
That's what they're for. They really are. Like if this was done at the federal level, I will be absolutely impressed. But I don't think it's going to happen at the federal level until maybe I'm like on death's door. Like I'm like in the retirement home, brain rotting in the wheelchair. That's probably when the Stop Killing Games movement will reach the federal level. But more states are definitely going to be taking notice. Because, they're going to move on from California. They're going to splinter off. They're going to fund their own Stop Killing Games, like branches or chapters in each state. And they will continue the good fight.
Which is now possible because they did start their own NGO branch within the United States.
Yes, sir. And they're going to have their own local state branches. And then it's just going to be looking up from there. So California is passing a law. Next, I think, would be Texas because a lot of the tech jobs or tech companies that were from California migrated to Texas. So I think that would be the logical next step forward.
Yeah, so
actually,
wins all around, man.
Yeah. Actually, isn't Bethesda in Texas?
No, Bethesda's in Maryland. Bethesda's in Bethesda, Maryland.
Who's in Texas? There's a company.
There is a Bethesda Austin, I think. There is.
Austin.
Yeah, because they had Arcade Austin.
Yeah. Oh, they did have BioWare, I think.
They had BioWare Austin. There is a BioWare Austin studio as well. BioWare is Canada-based, but they do have an Austin studio. Those are the guys behind the Old Republic, which we were going to cover a story on that.
We will save that though for another time.
Yeah, maybe some other time. We'll see because it's Summer Games Fest season, so like we're going to be very busy.
Yeah, June is packed. June is packed.
June is fucking packed. We got like 3 episodes lined up for in a week span.
Yep, and it's not gonna even be news. It's just gonna be like us covering the game shows.
Pretty much. So yeah, massive wins all around, man. Like the future for this is looking very bright. Like it's nice to have some good news in a sea of shit.
It is, and you know what? Even though people are getting laid off, I'm glad that these GaaS games, like it's dead trees. Like I don't even know how to say it. It's like weeds, like plants that kill that are finally dying off, which is making room for new stuff to grow.
Like a forest fire.
Yeah, exactly, like a forest fire. And even though unfortunately some people are getting laid off, these GaaS games are not good for the industry. Big companies like Sony, they're kind of starting, or at least it looks like they're starting to finally pay the price for their bad decision making. And so I don't know, this episode, at least, like I said, a lot of stuff is dying that should have been dead a long time ago, which is making room for new stuff to grow, and that's potentially good. And that's in terms of game industry making and also game policy, like with Stop Killing Games. So honestly, pretty hopeful stuff. Pretty hopeful times. I think Hopium was on the market again.
Yeah, and I think like with all these crazy ass layoffs, it's motivating developers to unionize more and more, which I think is ultimately
I didn't even think about
thing.
that.
So that way, they're not treated like garbage. I mean, I wish we didn't have to take this path for that to happen. I wish we didn't have to have tens of thousands of people lose their jobs because some fuckheads in suits wanted to chase trends.
Yeah.
But like I think things could possibly line up for the better in the future, even though things look like shit now.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna take a bit to get there, but it's I'm seeing the news that I would like to see that indicate hopium.
Yeah, so we'll just have to keep hoping.
Will.
Yeah, hopefully it's hopium and not copium.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I'm on the hopium. I'm still waiting for Half-Life 3.
Yes, surely.
Hopium.
Yes. All right, man. So this episode's gone on pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll sign us off. Don't worry.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Two Bar Connection. We really appreciate you guys watching this episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like down below, and also in the comments, write down any games you want us to play, or if there's any news stories that you would like us to cover. Best way to watch us is on YouTube, but we do have audio-only versions of the podcast available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Amazon Music. You can find us on Twitter, as you saw, and no, we will not call it X. And you can find us at a Twitter handle, which is at 2Bar Podcast. So, follow us, tag us in some memes, or in some breakdowns of legal documents and responses.
Yeah, so thank you guys again for listening. Thank you for watching, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Peace.
Hi, everybody.